Alex John Miralles drowned while on a class hike to Atñao Point in Jigo on April 21st of 2012. Today, the University of Guam released the results of an internal investigation that was conducted at the behest of President Robert Underwood. UOG received witness statements from 26 individuals who were on the trip.
They're supposed to write waiver forms for the professor to indicate that they are going on a field trip, and that there are a variance form, rather, and then there's a waiver form that students are supposed to sign. These were not adhered to by Professor Babakwa. But however, based on everything that we have discovered through this process of inquiry, it is clear that this was a tragic accident, and that filing of these waiver forms probably would have nothing to do with what actually happened on that day.
On that day, 57 people, comprised of a mix of students and non-students, hiked to an area along the northeastern coast of Guam. It's an area that was once an ancient Chamorro settlement. Students went voluntarily as part of Professor Bavakwa's History of Guam class. The hike was not a mandatory part of the class. Miralles was one of 13 who opted to go on the hike, while others chose to submit alternative assignments. The group hiked down a trail, stopping at a clearing on a limestone cliff that is about 10 to 15 feet above sea level. While members of the group stopped to rest and take in the view, Miralles and a few other students decided to climb down the cliff to a reef flat or lamasa that extended to the ocean's edge. Miralles walked to the edge, but it is not clear whether he went into the water to swim or whether he was swept in by a wave. Underwood says that Bavakwa made it clear before and during the trip that the water was very rough, and the lamasa portion or reef flat by the ocean's edge was not part of the hike.
The question is, did Professor Bavakwa respond immediately and in a prudent manner once he found this out? And we conclude that he did. Once he was aware of what was going on, he acted in a timely fashion, and he acted in a prudent fashion.
Underwood says that as soon as Professor Bavakwa realized what had happened, he immediately climbed down the cliff himself to the ocean's edge.
When Professor Bavakwa reached the bottom, it's a little bit, it's 10 to 15 foot ledge. Then you have to kind of climb down. And when he reached it, he didn't know where he was, so he looked around. Maybe he thought he was around the corner, so he looked around a little bit. Then he saw him in the water, and then that's when he tried to reach out to him, and then he concluded that he was in trouble, and that's when he gave instructions to call 911.
Others in the group also tried other means of rescuing Miralles, but the water was simply too rough.
Yeah, some students reported that they, tried to throw coconuts in there and tried to cut down a stick, but that was, that seemed to have happened already, after he was in the water, and pretty much events had consumed him already by then.
Underwood says that the university has expressed condolences to the family and offered counseling to all who were involved. In fact, he met with the family yesterday to personally give them the results of their investigation. There is no telling whether or not the family is going to seek any form of compensation or take any form of legal action against the UOG. However, Underwood feels that the lack of a waiver should not have a bearing on the university's liability.
What Professor Bavakwa did in not filling out the waiver forms is that he has been disciplined for that. But the actual accident is a separate sequence of events, and so the question is, did he behave in a prudent manner? And so for us, we conclude that he did behave in a prudent manner.